Hey, Melissa here. So, a lot of people go through their initial awakening where they start to question government and politics, different institutions, religion. They question the different school systems, perhaps big pharma, and they start to question their unconscious patterns. And that questioning time can feel, generally speaking, really expansive and exciting because there's a lot of revelation, there's a lot of aha moments, because you're starting to take a peek behind the curtain and see that things might not be as solid as you think they were. So there's more synchronicities. And you learn that there's more possibilities. So there's this general excitement, along with other things that come with it, of course, like the anger that you might feel for not knowing these things. Like how that's definitely how I felt in my initial awakening. I felt pretty angry at first, like, why was I not taught these things in school? Like, how did I not know this sooner? But then after that, there was many years of like, wow, like this is awesome. You know, you start to realize that your thoughts create your reality, and you can shift and control your breath, and you have agency over yourself, and you're responsible for yourself. And there's lots of beautiful and wonderful things. And then over time, what starts to happen, I would say, for me, from my own experience, and from just observing society and people that I know, is there's this unconscious identity that starts to form around being awake. And that's what happened to me. That definitely started to happen to me because I considered myself as like an underground conspiracy theorist. And I say underground because this was many years ago, and I didn't know many people in my sphere, in my reality at that time, that thought the way that I did. So I was like, nobody else thinks this way. And so I only showed that side of me to people who I knew would be open to something like that. And so I created this identity unconsciously around being a truther, you know, being someone that's awake, someone that's conscious, someone that's spiritual. And it's not something that I like decided that I'm going to create this identity. It just sort of happened. And then there's this, I heard this woman speaking about this second awakening that comes into our lives, and this trickster archetype. And Carl Jung spoke about the trickster archetype as well. And the trickster archetype is not like a good thing or a bad thing. It's not here to like shame us or anything like that. It's literally a force that comes in to destroy false certainty. So it makes you question things and question the identities that we've unconsciously created. And it starts to rattle things and shake things up. And it's there, from my perspective, as a force to actually serve us and free us. I mean, we could look at it as something that's just ruining everything, but I like to have the attitude that life is happening for me. And even if something can feel really hard and shitty in the moment, again, I like to look at it, okay, this is happening for a reason, it's happening for me. There's probably something here that I can't see, that we all have blind spots. And so this second awakening starts to happen. And it's, for me, this kicked in 2020, I would say, my second awakening, because I started to see how not everyone, but a lot of people in the world were starting to question things a little more with institutions and government and big pharma and things like that over the years after 2020 hit. And for me, it was more of an internal awakening of even deeper, of questioning my own identities that I've created around myself. And rather than seeing people as, you're asleep and I'm awake, I was guided to actually start to see the divine spark in every human, in every person or soul that I come in contact with. Because I realized that me having this unconscious identity around being awake, and others being asleep, or knowing more than someone else does, or I'm conscious, or I'm a truth seeker, or I'm a conspiracy theorist, or whatever it is, that I was contributing to the very division that I was perceiving in the world. So that was a really humbling moment, and it took some time and lots of awareness to catch myself in this habit. And so that was the journey for me. And I was like, okay. And when I heard this term, the second awakening, I'm like, this is it. And the second awakening, with this trickster energy coming in, it starts to challenge these things. And it could come in as like confusion or disillusionment or betrayal, or you start to notice that the different communities around are like all groupthink. You start to see how you've maybe idolized methodologies or teachers, or put teachers or gurus or whatever on pedestals. So it starts to shake all those things. And the second awakening can feel disorienting, whereas the first one can feel really exciting because it's expansive and there's revelation. The second one is like, woo, it's starting to shake the certainty, because the unintegrated ego, where we likes to create the identities so that it feels safer in that certainty, in the known, something that's predictable, so we're not blindsided. We like to know and have things like a map to follow. And with this second awakening, all of that starts to get challenged. And for me, I was guided to turn my palms up and open. And it was challenging because as someone that teaches and guides yoga, I host retreats, someone who's, always kind of the first in my family and community, I wanted something solid to land on. I wanted everything to be like neatly packaged and contained, so that when I go and lead or whatever it is, guide things or share something online, like I have the map and I know what the answers are. I know what the truth is, and it just felt more certain and more solid and stable, and I could work from there like a solid foundation. But man, that's a lot of pressure to claim that you know the way and you know what the truth is. And it was a lot of pressure that I put on myself. And then I started to realize that, like, wow, there could be multiple truths and paradigms that can be true and exist at the same time. That's what I was guided to turn my palms up, to be like, there could be multiple things and opposing things that could be true at the same time. I was starting to learn what nuance was, and that not everything is in black and white. I was starting to learn how to hold paradox, and that rattled me, because I'm like, what? I was questioning my own self. And that was a period of time, and it has come in layers throughout the last 6 years. And I feel like it's an ongoing journey. When you discover something new, you get really excited. Your discernment gets sharper, and your awareness gets more on point, and you're more connected to it, so you can catch yourself when you do start to get into those moments of wanting to idolize or package something in a neat box and container, rather than coming into something with curiosity. So I still feel like you can have your own perspectives on things and your own experience, of course, like your own experience of what feels true for you, and be guided by your intuition and all of that, and operate from that place. It's just being aware of when you've really started to like become rigid about it and grip around it, like this is the only way, and anyone else that has a different opinion than me is wrong and they're out, like I don't trust them, like, you know, and I had that energy about me before 2020. I was like, if you don't see things and question big pharma and I'm like, I can't trust you, you're out. Like subconsciously I had that energy. And I was like, that is contributing to the division that we see on this planet. And so I still have my perspectives and my own experiences and my own inner knowings about things. But instead, when I interact with people and connect with people, there's room for their truth and their experience and their perspective as well. And staying open in that and genuinely open and seeing their divine spark and connecting with their heart. And I think that's when real maturation comes online, is that when two opposing things or things that are contradictions, do you stay open? Like you don't collapse when you're facing contradiction. Can you stay present when two opposing things can be true at the same time? And so it's been about building my capacity for nuance, that things don't have to be black and white, but I could still have my own experience and trust my own intuition and guidance and still stay open to other people's, and still be open to be able to question myself on things. Like, when am I starting to become dogmatic about something? Because that's when you can become blindsided by something. And it's okay if you are blindsided by something. That could be part of your curriculum and your experience here. But yeah, so this second awakening really asks us to expand our capacity for nuance, because our unintegrated ego, to our unintegrated ego, ambiguity can feel really unsafe. So expand our capacity for nuance, for paradox, and for just openness and spaciousness, while we can still honor our own experiences and our own perceived truths. So just wanted to touch on that, and would love to hear if you've experienced anything like this. This first awakening and the second awakening, and perhaps maybe there's even a third and a fourth and a fifth, who knows. But this has been my journey in the last little bit, and it's been really humbling and really beautiful. And I think it's ongoing. I think as we evolve and learn new information about things and have new downloads and have different codes activated within us, there's always that discernment piece of like, okay, where am I starting to attach and grip around this new identity? Where can I soften? Where can I let go? Where can I turn my palms up and open, to not create another new identity around something where it becomes so rigid that you have blinders on again and you can't see beyond it. Okay, so that is my share for today. And I'll post some journal prompts below in this description box below for you to inquire if you so desire and choose to journal and ponder some questions and journal prompts that have helped me through this process. Okay, big love.